All right, welcome back. Today, we're diving into an ancient and honestly a pretty radical promise, one that really messes with our whole understanding of time, work, and reward. Just imagine a world with so much abundance that the seasons themselves can't even keep up. A world where the harvest actually overtakes the person sowing the seeds. I mean, really, just think about that for a second. What if the results of all your hard work were instantaneous? What if the finish line showed up right at the starting block? Now, this isn't just some daydream. It's actually the heart of a stunning prophecy that we're going to unpack together. So, to really get how wild this idea is, we've got to step back in time. For our ancestors, life was all about the seasons and a whole lot of waiting. You'd plow in the spring, you'd sow the seed, and then you'd wait and work and hope for months until the harvest. That gap between your effort and the reward, that was just normal life. So, where in the world does this incredible promise even come from? Well, it doesn't just pop up out of the blue. We actually find it in the book of a prophet named Amos. And let me tell you, he was living in some pretty tough times. Okay, so picture this. It's the 8th century BC in Israel, and things are not great. Society was just riddled with injustice, the poor were being exploited, and people had turned away from their faith. So for most of his book, Amos isn't exactly delivering warm, fuzzy messages. He's a prophet of judgment, calling it like he sees it. And it's against this really dark backdrop that our story begins to change. And then, just when you think it's all doom and gloom, after chapters filled with these heavy warnings, the tone just completely flips. Out of all that darkness, you get this sudden, brilliant flash of hope. A promise of restoration so complete it feels like it just shatters the normal rules of time. And here it is, Amos 9:13. The plowman, the person just starting the work, is going to overtake the reaper, the one who's finishing it. The person treading grapes for wine is going to be right on the heels of the one who's just planting the seeds. This isn't just about a good harvest, you guys. This is a total divine interruption of the natural order. It's impossible. So what does this actually look like? What does it mean? To really get it, we've got to zoom in on the specific words Amos uses. This isn't just some pretty poetry. He's describing a supernatural reality. Okay, first up, we've got the plowman. The Hebrew word is harash. This guy represents the very first step. It's all about preparing the ground, getting ready. This is Act 1 of the whole agricultural year. And who does the plowman overtake? The reaper, or glossier. The reaper is all about the end of the journey, the final reward, the moment of completion. So just let that sink in for a second. The promise is that the very beginning of the process is going to literally run over the end. This chart just lays it out so perfectly. On the left, you've got normal time, the step-by-step process we all live in. But on the right, that's God's time, according to Amos. The beginning, the middle, and the end all just collapse into one moment. Preparation and completion are happening at the same time. The blessing is so huge, it just gets rid of the weight. And get this, the imagery goes even deeper. The promise isn't for some fancy aged wine. It's for Aussies, sweet, freshly pressed grape juice. That means even the result is immediate, new, and bursting with life. It's like creation itself is just screaming about this instant, overflowing goodness. You know, this whole idea of impossible abundance, it's not just a one-hit wonder in this one verse. It's a theme that actually echoes all through the scriptures, pointing to this consistent vision of what divine restoration looks like. You can see a really similar promise way back in the book of Leviticus. And the prophet Joel uses almost the exact same imagery. Then, fast forward centuries later to the book of Acts, and you have James, a leader in the early church, quoting this very passage from Amos. He sees it being fulfilled in this new spiritual family. So this isn't some random verse. It's like a golden thread of hope woven through the entire story. Okay, so this is a beautiful, amazing, ancient promise. But let's be real. What does it have to do with us? Right here, right now. How do we actually live in light of this vision of overflow? It really boils down to two key shifts in our thinking. First, it's about trusting that God's clock and our clock are two totally different things. His timing operates beyond what we can see in our day-to-day lives. And second, it's a call to do our work faithfully, but to let go of the anxiety about the results, knowing that the harvest is governed by a grace that will always, always outpace our efforts. When you get right down to it, this whole thing is an invitation. It's an invitation to stop living out of a scarcity mindset, that constant nagging worry that there won't be enough, that we won't be enough.
This promise shows us a God who doesn't just patch things up. He restores more than what was lost. He is a God of overwhelming, time-bending, supernatural abundance.
So let's end with this powerful declaration, just a thought to carry with you. The Lord brings fullness beyond my labor and beyond my timing. It's a reminder that our real hope isn't in the predictable seasons of life, but in a God whose power to bless and restore is never, ever limited by our calendars or our expectations.